Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today, we've got loads of news, a lot of news, more information coming out about the Celsius recovery plan, Bank to the Future, Bitfinex, FTX, the new digital Jacobs digital Bitcoin ETF on Euronext, Morgan Creek Digital, 3AC Capital, being liquidated, Invictus Capital having problems with their closing down. A lot to go through. But as always, we always start with the markets. So let's have a look at the total market cap. Total market cap, 908 billion. Gosh, so that's, remember at the beginning of the week, it was 1 trillion. So nearly 100 billion has been wiped off this week in terms of market cap. In terms of the Bitcoin dominance, still up 40%, and Ethereum at 14%. As you can see, everything's extremely bearish. The indicator's actually gone down because you're looking here at 6%. It was 7% most of the week. Not a big difference. It's just, as you can see on the chart here, everything is red, so it's very bearish with regards to that. So let's have a look at the sectors. Well, within the last few hours, last 24 hours, the derivative sector's up, yield farming sector's up, the meme tokens are up, exchange-based tokens are up, Web3 is up, a lot of green, brilliant, DeFi up, excellent. So 24-hour change looks positive. A lot of greens within the last 24 hours. That's something that's good to see. The daily performers. So as you can see here, the top daily returns. Quite a few green ones that I know. Arwave, they're really good. Robin Finance, great return there. And you've got a few here that are not doing too well. Immutable X, for example, is down 7.5%. PlayDAP, the worst performer there, 15% down on the last 24 hours. We've got the Terra Luna Classic USD, which is that stable coin, which is down 5%. So let's have a look at the prices today. As you can see, everything seems to be, well, most of it seems to be green within the last 24 hours. So look at that, loads of green there within the last 24 hours and within the last hour, which is quite good. But on a 7-day price chart, look at those graphs, a lot of reds on the 7-day graph there. Sorry about that. Yeah, so look at there, loads and loads and loads of red there. Few green, but loads of red on the 7-day, but loads of green on the 24-hour. Bitcoin itself, let's have a look here. It's $19,421 each. That's up 1.28% in 24 hours. Again, still, very low score of 29% on the TM grade. If you look down at the chart, as you can see, it's been, red candle there, it's going down. So it's not been too good in the last couple of days, but generally it is a sideways movement between that sort of 21 and 19. It's been bouncing in that range, as you can see on there. With regards to Ethereum, let's have a look. Ethereum looks to be doing exactly the same. So $1,050 per Ethereum token, 15% TM grade, again not too good there. And as you can see on here, again it's bouncing between the range of sort of 1,200 and 1,025 there, 1,020 really. It's been bouncing through that range for the last, during this last week, last 5 days. Hopefully that will change, but it's going to be interesting to see. You've got the bank holiday long weekend in the US. So I think July 4th celebrations coming up. So we'll see what happens during this time while they celebrate, and they're going to be a lot of the institutions, banks, and everything are going to be closed. So it's going to be just a retail traders really pushing through the market. Okay, on to the news. Celsius still dominating a lot of things going out there. Bank to the Future have come up with a recovery plan of their own. This is spearheaded by Simon Dixon. Simon Dixon is the Bank to the Future CEO, and he's the one who has put this proposal together. It's a very interesting proposal. In effect, he has 3 different proposals, but most of them essentially require the financial restructuring of Celsius without losing any of the depositors' money or tokens. So he's come down with 3 proposals. He basically says he wanted to work with Celsius on this, but they wanted to do it privately, whereas he wanted to involve the community, because they raised a lot of money for Celsius, and a lot of the community, his community, the Bank to the Future community, are members of Celsius and have a lot of their tokens and their coins with Celsius. So he's trying to do his best to see how he can help them. Celsius wanted discussions in private. He wanted to involve the community, so he's decided not to do it in private. He's put out this plan, and he essentially says they've got the Bank to the Future themselves hold, through the special purpose vehicle, they hold 5% of the Celsius shares, or just over 5%. This means that they can actually call a shareholder meeting. So they're going to try to use that to call a shareholder meeting so that they can discuss these plans. He seems to basically think, he doesn't like the way the situation is going. He doesn't want it to go into bankruptcy proceedings, because this could take a long time. He goes through what happened with Bitfinex. There's a video which basically explains what happened with Bitfinex. They got hacked, and instead of going through bankruptcy proceedings, they issued a token, and they repaid back all their depositors. And not only did they pay back their depositors, but they also gave the depositors dividends, because the depositors were able to take the token that they were given and actually change that for shares. Very interesting story on how they managed to resolve their issue. There is a case study which was done by Bank to the Future. You can go onto my Twitter, because I sent a link to this YouTube video of the case study, and it's extremely interesting, and it gives you a background of the kind of thing that Celsius is thinking about. And that's the Twitter handle there, at Kenneth Omoya, and you'll find a link there, as you can see. And if you go through that video, you'll see that Celsius proposal is literally trying to recreate some financial engineering akin to what happened with Bitfinex. So give you a great sort of overview of what's happening there. Celsius themselves, they've produced yet another basically press release, or whatever you want to call it, but it has, I retweeted the link on my Twitter. You can go click on it and then read it. There's not really much information in this. It's probably, it's the same as before, saying we're working hard to preserve and protect assets, and we've got the community in mind, and so forth. But yeah, nothing, it's just all kind of wishy-washy stuff. Nothing solid in there. Just basically same as before, to say that they're working on it. The Cell token is still trading. As you can see, it's down 17% 24 hours to 0.59. Let's have a look at their chart. It's quite interesting with this Cell token. TM grade is 30%. It was on a buy during the week, because during the week you had this pump, which was driven by the community doing this short squeeze. But obviously that's done, so that's probably why I'm saying sell, get out. but we'll see. I mean, I think if Celsius is saved and comes back operating normally, this should, should pump and should go back up. But it all depends on what happens with the company. As you can see, it went up. That's the pump I was speaking about. You had a massive pump there, one there. But then afterwards, last few days, it's just been going all the way down to that. So a few people trying to trade it. It's 84% down on 200 days, 90% down on the year. I mean, that is, a lot, and that's not even what it was when it hit 0.23. So it's really been going down. But again, I did in a previous video, we went through how the Cell token was distributed through the ICO in 2018. And if you bought on the ICO, even at 0.23 cents, you'd be up on your money, because I think the ICO, it was it was 20 cents. So even now, trading today at 0.59, so let's call that 60 cents. So if you bought it at 20, you're still, you've got your money back. You've got 2 times your money back still, if you held up to now. So it's still above their ICO price. Very interesting on that. Now, FTX CEO, very interesting. He's gone on record speaking to Forbes, and he's basically saying that there's a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges that are insolvent or secretly insolvent. So he says FTX, along with Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance, are giants among digital asset exchanges. They have millions of customer accounts, and functionally they operate similarly to online stockbrokers. But outside of these whales, there are more than 600 crypto exchanges around the world. So the article basically goes on to talk about Hotbit and some other stuff, and talking about exchanges offering generous margin loans and so forth. And he seems to think quite a lot of them are insolvent. Yeah, I could believe that, out of the 600, because, for example, AAX, Hotbit and so forth, are they or aren't they? But I think quite a few of them will survive unless things really capitulate further. But what have they been doing? Well, this is what FTX have done. They've injected 250 million into BlockFi, and at the moment they're trying to actually buy BlockFi. They're basically in negotiations and also battle with Morgan Creek Capital, who are also raising money to see if they can buy BlockFi, because the deal that FTX are offering BlockFi would wipe out all the previous investors, and so people like Pomp and Morgan Creek Capital, early investors in BlockFi, they're not happy. So that's why they're putting together a counter bid to see if they can save BlockFi and obviously save their own position. So it'll be interesting how that works out. They've also bought a 7.6% stake in Robinhood. There've been rumors that they wanted to buy Robinhood, but they've come out saying nope. There's no. They have not made any offers to Robinhood, and they're not interested in buying Robinhood. We'll see what happens. Sometimes these rumors just appear and then disappear. They've loaned 500 million to Voyager Digital. They've acquired crypto trading platform BitVo. They've acquired embedded financial technologies. So they've been quite busy lately, FTX. So let's have a look at their token. The FTX token, FTT, $24.35 at the moment. That is up 3.67% in 24 hours, which is not too bad. But their token as well is taking big hammering, as you can see there, from around 29th of March. It's just been going down and down and down, down as the market has been selling off. We are in a bear market at the moment. The crypto market cap by itself has shed about 2 trillion. So it's moved from it's shed a lot of money, about 2 trillion worth of value has disappeared. So a lot of the tokens and a lot of the coins will have gone down. And as you can see, it's FTX actually has been going down all week, and you can see it there just on the today at the $24 mark. So that's the FTX token. Speaking of tokens, token metrics. We do love token metrics, and I do love token metrics. As you can see here, they have notable customers at these firms use token metrics. Coinbase, Facebook, Amazon, Uber, very, very big companies they are. Token metrics provides everything necessary to analyze the crypto market. They have AI-driven ratings, model portfolios for 13 exchanges. We'll have a look at some of those model portfolios and indexes, but they do have them for 13 exchanges. They have exclusive market indicators, automated technical analysis, portfolio tracking and trade alerts, daily written insights. I'll also show you some of the written insights that they do actually send. They are extremely, extremely good. So let's have a look here. Insights. So I already spoke about this. The infrastructure hidden gems that you get sent. As you can see on here, we've got quite a few. Token metrics navigator. So the navigator is actually one of the most interesting ones, simply because the navigator gives you a weekly update, a market update. I think they send it weekly or daily. I'm not sure, but the navigator, it's one that I actually look through and read a lot whenever they do send them. As you can see, they have all the charts. They break down everything with regards to what's been happening, where they think everything's going to go. They also give you details about the price of Bitcoin, the price of Ethereum, and generally the market, where the market they think is going to go, and quite a lot of good analysis goes on there. The NFT cheat sheet, it's the same. They go through a lot of NFTs that they think are going to do well, and what they do is they provide you with usually about 3 or 2 projects that they think are going to do well. And this is just information, and then obviously you can go ahead and do your own research. So here you got sneakerheads. They give you the team, the trading metrics. It's extremely good. And then the infrastructure one that we went through last time, orderly network and so forth. I didn't provide the newest one in terms of the infrastructure hidden gems, because if you want to see the new ones, you need to go up and register with them. If you'd like to subscribe with them, you could just go ahead and click a link. I've got a link inside the just underneath here. We've got a link in the description. So if you click the link in the description, which is a partnership link because it's an affiliate link, click on it. It will take you to this page. At the moment, they have a free trial for a limited time period, but the link will give you up to 40% discount if you use our link. The price you'd pay at the moment starts from around $19 per month each. And so 40% discount on that, it's a lot, so you're looking basically at under $20, so under $12 per month, which is nothing really. Depending on how much information you need, depends on which package you'll go for, but it is extremely good package. We use it, we love it. And now with regards to Bitcoin again, there's a new ETF, Bitcoin ETF, and this is going to be in Europe, in the Euronext in Amsterdam. So that's going to allow people to very easily purchase Bitcoin in Europe. So that's great for Bitcoin. Another ETF opening up there in Europe. As you can see, basically, I mean, in Amsterdam, that means it's got the EU. It's within the EU, and therefore everybody in the EU will be able to purchase it extremely easily, which is absolutely brilliant. And also, people in the UK, though they've left the EU, they'll be able to purchase that quite easily. Morgan Creek Digital, this is their battle. So there's been a suggestion. Basically, one of their investor calls, there was a leak. With regards to this investor call, BlockFi, basically, it was suggested by Morgan Creek Digital that BlockFi liquidated 1 billion worth of 3AC Capital's Bitcoin. But there is an issue here because while most of it was in Bitcoin, they also had others that were in that was in GBTC. The basically GBTC is in effect what that is. It's a trust. It holds Bitcoin, and then you can buy shares in this trust. So they had also quite a lot of this GBTC as collateral. I think they had 400 million worth of it, of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares. So they sold the Bitcoin on spot, got the whatever the Bitcoin was trading at, and the 400 million though, when they sold that, the price had dropped to around 34%. Oh, by around 34%. So they were receiving, in fact, selling the GBTC shares. The money they were getting back was 34% below the value of Bitcoin. So they took quite a big haircut on that while liquidating that, which is obviously not the best situation. The British Virgin Islands court also has reportedly set up, ordered for 3AC to be liquidated. So this is nothing new. We knew this was going to come after the problems that Three Arrows Capital started having. Now, the order reportedly came on the same date that Voyager Digital issued a notice of default to Three Arrows Capital for its failure to pay its 15,250 Bitcoin and 350 million USDC loan. So yeah, everybody's trying to get their money back, and 3AC obviously is going to be liquidated, and whatever is left will be paid back to those who lent them the capital. Again, additional bad news, and this time it's for the group Invictus Capital. We went through about how Invictus Capital set up, how they began. They did originally an ICO. They did one in 2017. They raised around 30 million, I believe, if my memory is right. And they were called Crypto 20, and then they rebranded to call themselves Invictus Capital. They did a second ICO where they raised some more money in 2018, but two of their funds are bankrupt effectively. They claim to have had 135 million under management, which I do believe, because they did buy a lot of the tokens when the tokens were valued lower, and now that the value of those tokens and coins are higher, I do believe, that's a figure that I can believe. But the problem is they got caught up in all this mess. Two of their funds basically went bust, and they filed for their companies to be dissolved. Now, the problem they have is during the liquidation process, the officials asked the director to sign a piece of paper saying that the company, the holding company, special vehicle company for those two funds that are bust, before they liquidate them voluntarily, to say that they were not insolvent, and the director refused to sign that because obviously they are insolvent. So because the director refused to sign it, it's going to, I know the process is going to take far longer for that to go through. Another issue they do have, Invictus Capital, is they have their funds on their C10 and on their C20, their Crypto 20. They have their funds with Celsius. So they've already issued a statement saying that they have significant exposure to Celsius. So what's going to happen if Celsius is able to get back up and running and people can withdraw their funds, they'll be okay. But if the same thing happens, for example, like Mt. Gox went into basically went into liquidation, or went bust. But the bankruptcy proceedings have taken so long. I mean, it's 8 years down the line, and the Mt. Gox bankruptcy proceedings are still going on, and everybody who had their assets on Mt. Gox still hasn't even got a penny back. And that's 8 years down the line. So if Celsius the issue is resolved extremely soon, then it'll be okay for Invictus Capital. But if they have to wait a long time, then it'll cause issues for Invictus Capital. And if Celsius restructures and says, well, you're going to have to take a 50% of your holdings to every single person who had their tokens and their coins with Celsius, that again could cause problems for Invictus Capital. So a lot of issues for them going ahead. They're not out of the woods yet. So that's one company that we need to follow as things flow on. And finally, in every Bitcoin cycle, there is a big crypto exchange winner. Kraken was the winner in cycle 1. Very good exchange, may I say. Kraken they are extremely good. Never been hacked. Very professional. Binance was the winner in cycle 2, and it looks like FTX will be the winner in cycle 3. They seem to be out there trying to pick up assets on the cheap, and if they do that, then they'll be able to grow really quickly on the cheap and obviously be the winner in this cycle. Last cycle, the Binance cycle, Binance was extremely fast, and they just a lot of exchanges were very picky on who they were going to, which tokens they were going to put on the exchange. Kraken was extremely picky. Coinbase was extremely picky. Binance, essentially, they were just listing everybody and everyone, every single loads and loads of tokens, and they kept listing them, and that's how they grew. Because if you wanted a token and you went into Binance, 9 times out of 10 that token would be there, and you can then trade that token. And that's how they grew their customers, because every time anybody did an ICO or something like that on airdrop, they'll then go get that tokens onto Binance, and then if you wanted to trade your token that you'd received, you had no option but to open an account in Binance, and that led them to grow. At the time, they didn't actually do a lot of they didn't do any KYC, so KYC was non-existent as well. So you just had to enter your username, password, and that's it really. Provide them with an email address, and you could go and trade whatever you wanted, and that allowed them to grow extremely quickly. And now that they're big, they've now started doing policies such as asking customers to do KYC, reducing the amount you can actually trade without doing KYC, and getting licenses as well. They've got licenses in Europe, I think in Singapore, and in quite a lot of other major markets. They've now got Binance US with their license to trade in the US. So yeah, and at the moment, FTX seem to be the winner this time around. They're going around picking up assets, or trying to pick up assets on the cheap, and if they do that, they will be able to get millions of customers, and they will be the winner on this cycle. And that is it for today. Today being a Friday, I hope you all have an excellent weekend. And if you're in America, enjoy your July 4th. If you're in different countries, just enjoy your weekend. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. We try to bring you all the information that's relevant to crypto and information that you'd need to know in order to make sound decisions. We don't give any investment advice. We just give you information as we feel you need to know before making any decision. Also, please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Kenneth Omoya, as you can see there. So if you go onto Twitter, just search for me, Kenneth Omoya, or underneath again in the description, I do have a link to my Twitter handle. You can click on it and follow me. Well, thank you for listening. You have a good evening, a good afternoon, or a good day generally, and also a fantastic weekend.